So Josh, I know everybody wants to know that big question. How do you make your first million in the insurance industry?
Well, the insurance industry has what is it, born or has brought the most millionaires in the industry. Like, I think it's number one or number two. Financial services is bred of all the millionaires. But I think the key of making your first million is offering the opportunity to other individuals, because you're only capped out. I mean, you're maxed out if you do it yourself, 700,000 on your own pin, but you're then working 60 plus hours a week, working on your own pin. And it wasn't until, one of my mentors at the time was like, you need to become omnipresent, offer the opportunity and duplicate yourself more to exceed 700,000. And then, you can scale back once you kind of accomplish that, because hey, 700,000, you can do that on your own. But if you can teach someone else to do 500,000, 300,000, and then teach 10 to 20 to 30 people to do that. And then with us, I mean, we get a spread up until they get to our level. We get a spread, 20, 10, 30, 40%. And they're selling deals. We're teaching them the whole process that we've learned that works. And we're like, hey, do you want to make 100? Do you want 200? Do you want to make 700? Because then you're maxed out. If you want to make over $1 million, you know what you have to do. Start building your business and duplicating yourself. And even though let's say if you're making $500,000 as a producer, you're not going to expect your agent to make that or become you. Like, yes, you've been surpassed. I've been surpassed in certain aspects of the business. You want that, but that's a diamond in the rough, right? If they can do 75% of what you did or what you showed them, you're golden. Because what's 75% of $500,000? Like, you're golden, and you're getting a spread off that. That's just one agent.
Yeah.
So if you can make if the numbers are 50 to 70,000 off each individual agent until they reach your level and you pull them up, you're making that much off each agent. So how many agents do you need to make $1 million? It's just simple, 10, right? If you have 10, you're making $1 million. I mean, in our industry. Now there's companies out there that I won't mention that you're getting no spread off of, and that's why you get no mentorship or coaching, because it's like, here's all the tools, you're on your own.
Yep.
And then what happens is those agents, they don't get in front of anyone at all. And then they're coming, they're seeing our reels, they're seeing our Instagram, like, hey, do you guys do mentorship? Yeah, that's what we preach on.
Yeah.
Is the shortest to shorten your success, you need a mentor. Right? Like, who was your mentor? I mean, you probably had a mentor to show you exactly what to do. You were one of my mentors. You brought me into this industry. And I'm like, hey, this guy's, wearing a nice suit, driving a nice car, nice watch. What do you do? And, it wasn't until I figured out, off of one sale was my whole paycheck back then. And I'm like, wait, my mind just exploded. My one sale was my entire month's work at my previous job. I'm like, I'm never going back to anyone else, because it took me 1 hour versus how many hours are in a month. Like, that just alleviated time. I was like, okay, if I can make 2 sales, that's 2 months of what I'm used to making. 3 sales, 3 months, and then you start getting ahead of everything. Okay, now you have other goals. You have bank account goals. 10,000. I want 10,000 in my account. Boom, that happened. I want 100,000 in my account. Boom. I want $500,000. Boom. I'm like, oh, well, now I can invest, or now I can do other things, because I perfected that, that process of it. But was it hard? I mean, yeah, it's ups and peaks and valleys. You deal with, what is it called? Transitions of, okay, your first 100,000. There's a transition. There's a time where there's a peak where it's tough, but only the strongest survive. Okay, you want to make 100,000 anywhere, it's going to be hard. It's going to be stressful, different type of stress, the good stress. The motivation is now temporary. Your discipline takes over. But if you want to now take it from 100 to 500, what do you think? Your problems go away? Your stress goes away? No, it gets worse, right? But you have to embrace it. Okay, now you want $1 million.
Yeah.
Those transitions, you're dealing with now, multiple agents of different personalities, and we're not managers. Managers are supposed to manage structure and process. We don't need to do that. That's already in place. But we're mentoring other individuals to hit their goals, hit their financial, personal, professional goals. And once we do that, hey, their contribution is 100,000 or 200,000. Let me get you there. Let me show you there. Let me show you how to get there. And if you have a mentor, yes, that's going to get you there faster. So the first $1 million, it's definitely hard. The first 100,000, it's hard. But if it was hard, everyone would be doing it, right? It definitely gets easier because, like now your agents are showing the opportunity. They understand the business now. Like, hey, I don't want to be in the field for life. I want to start building my business, having passive income, go on vacation and still get paid because your team is now blowing up. Teach them how to interview, teach them how to onboard the right personalities, because you can have experience or no experience at all. All you need to have is a good attitude. We'll teach you and show you how to get the results that you want. If you're helping people, because we talk to millionaires all the time, what do they say? Most important thing is focus on what? People and relationships.
That's it.
People and relationships are the key to becoming a millionaire. And it's crazy to hear that, but we know that, hey, if we focus on, people and relationships and building that and showing them and changing their lives, if we get them to get what they want, we know we're getting what we want.
Yeah.
And we're just showing others that opportunity, So if you're willing to do that, which who wouldn't be, if no one has showed you how to do that, that's what we do. That's why we are the top agencies of our entire company. Like that, we're doing something different. And if your upline or mentor is not showing you how to do that, that's probably why you need to come join us. Because you can have the highest comp, you can have the best products, blah, 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 blah. We heard it all the time. But if you don't have a roadmap or someone showing you how to get to your goal, we hire that all the time. Like we interview that. Hey, no one showed me how to do this and that. Like, okay, let me show you how to do that. In the meantime, you're gonna get contract raises up to what you want to get. Lean into them, and some of them will take that and run with it, like the competitive ones, the ones that have the good attitudes, and they're buying into our process of training and being on and associating themselves. Just being on this, let's say sitting here, being associated with us. If you're doing what we're doing, you're gonna get what we have. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If we're the Kobe Bryants and Michael Jordans of the insurance industry, and we're like, hey, if someone asks us, hey, how can I get what you have? You're in the right room, because we're going to show you, hey, do this every single day and week, and you're going to go through these peaks and valleys, but trust me, you're going to be in this seat one day if you do that.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, that's how I put things. Is like someone showed me exactly how to get from A to B. Now I do that, and the more times I do that and I help that individual, I just get what I want, right? And now I'm not in the field for life, and I can get paid on vacation or paid when I sleep in if I want to. I don't even sleep in anymore, but so like that's kind of my journey to the million. And we're talking about revenue, right? Like there's we can talk about other companies, but we're not. And this is talking about paid. Like this is not just submit or stuff that never happens.
Issue paid business.
We don't even know what numbers mean. No, this is definitely revenued in. So that's my journey. Mine was kind of, I don't know if it was similar to yours, but what did yours look like too? Because there's a ladder in between that of, you didn't just start and then made your first million that first year. You have to learn a system or follow a mentor. What did your journey look like?
Well, it's definitely different for everybody. And, going back when I first started this industry, the hardest part was to believe in myself. And once I believed in myself, now it's believing in others. Believing that my mentor will get me where I want to be. The moment I changed that mentality where, hey, I'm not going to get to the top by myself, is when I started really working towards making my first $1 million. Yes, I became a top producer. I had to be. I got to make sure that I know what I'm doing in order for me to mentor others. That saying is true. If you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go long, you take a team with you. And when I started working, you can produce $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 in production by yourself. But then you got no time. You mentioned it earlier.
You just go back to where you were.
You go back, and then you start realizing that, hey, you know what? I can share this opportunity with people that want to be successful like I do. Kind of like how I found you. I knew I saw some talent in you. I saw some potential. I said, let's see if we can get you going as well. And lo and behold, you did, and you crushed it. And you broke records upon records. And that is how you get to your first million, is by gathering people and sharing the opportunity with people that have that like-minded mentality. And everybody wants to make $1 million. Nobody wants to work for it. And it's that vision that you create for yourself. When I was an agent, I saw myself being in my manager's chair one day. I said, in 5 years, I'm going to be an agency owner. I don't know how I did it, but I knew I put it out there, and I ended up being an agency owner in 5 years. 1 year into the business, I want to be a #1 producing agency owner now. I knew that I couldn't do it by myself. So I had to hire people, whether it's friends or family or Indeed ads. I was looking to find people like me that were hungry, that were motivated, that believed in me, and I believed in them. And little by little, just exactly how you mentioned, you pour into these guys and you make sure that they can become successful. $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month in production. When they are doing that and you get 10 of those guys, now you have $1 million operation. Now it's how to get to 2 million, how to get to 5 million. Yes, there's transitional phrases, exactly what you mentioned. It's so funny. You reach this peak and then all of a sudden you go back down the mountain again, and then you got to find another reason to go even further up. What is it? Whether it's, hey, it's not for money anymore. It's for freedom. It's for taking care of others. It's for, hey, I want to take care of my parents. I want to take care of my kids. I want to show other people that this opportunity, that the insurance industry is not as hard as everybody thinks it is. The only hard part is changing your mentality. It's changing your mindset. Am I working for a paycheck, or am I working for profits? Am I gonna get to work so I can accomplish my dreams, or I'm gonna go get to work to accomplish somebody else's dreams? And in the insurance industry, you're accomplishing your dreams, and while you're accomplishing your dreams, you're helping somebody else accomplish their dreams, whether it's in front of you or behind you. And it's very rewarding to see other people be successful, because if you succeed, we succeed. And if we succeed, everybody succeeds. And so there is no, nothing in the atmosphere saying, hey, well, I'm just making somebody wealthy or I'm making somebody rich. It's not like that. It's really, we're all making ourselves wealthy and rich, and we're helping each other get to that next destination. But it does mean you getting out of your own way and listening to somebody that knows better than you. Somebody that is trying to show you how to become extremely successful in the insurance industry. It does not take rocket science. It does not take years of experience. It does not take you being an MBA or any type of Ivy League school to become a millionaire in this industry. It takes you being humble, you being hungry, and you just wanting to learn from the people that are willing to teach you. You said, hey, the people you surround yourself is who you become. You surround yourself with a bunch of positive-minded winners, you become a positive-minded winner. And if you don't ever adopt that mentality, they will kick you out of that circle. And when you start talking like that, waking up and having that imagining, that vision of yourself, where do I want to be 10 years from now? Where do I want to be 5 years from now? And you start sharing that with others that are supporting your decisions, you're supporting your ideas, everybody wins. You know, we have this mentality growing up, don't share your dreams with people, don't share your goals with people, they're just gonna hate on you. Well, that's because you're sharing with the wrong people.
Yeah.
But when you share it with people that are actually supporting you and like-minded, man, they will applaud you, they will cheer you on, they will support you, they will give you references, they will give you referrals. And that small circle, because it is small, it becomes so valuable. Where, you know, you have friends. Yes, you have a lot of friends, but some of them you can't share those dreams with. You can't share your business ideas with because they're just gonna hate on you. And then those are the ones you realize that, hey, they're not the ones they're not your real friends. And when you surround yourself around those people that are literally supporting you, they're asking you, how can I help you? Those are the type of people you want to really draw, you said earlier, lean into.
Yeah, and if you don't have those people, how can, like, I know I didn't have millionaire friends in like growing up, you know, or when I first started, right? But how can someone do that? And I always bring it back to your mentors is not just a physical person. It's a podcast, it's a book. You start doing research and studying millionaires. What do? They're reading books at least 12 a year. I said that twice because it's important. They're going to conferences, 3 or more per year. So if you start doing what they do, yeah, you're not going to get paid next week, but now you're in that millionaire mindset. And those are your friends for that time being because they're telling you your goals are too low.
Yeah.
Their goals are just astronomical, right? And you're like, wow, okay, let me do that. Let me surprise people. And if you can learn that from a podcast, if you can learn that from a book, do that if your friends are not where you want to be. And if you're listening to your friends, ask yourself all the time, and if they're haters, do you want to switch their lifestyle or be in their shoes? If the answer is no, don't take advice from them. Because I want to take advice from someone who's done it, someone who's successful, because that's measurable.
Somebody who's making more money than you, right?
Well, why not? Yeah.
Why?
I'll listen. If you're making more money, I'm listening. Yeah. But I'm not taking it. I don't give advice. I take that to heart. I don't give advice for something I've never done. Like, if you've never done it, let's brainstorm. Or let's find someone who has. But all the advice I give and feedback is from experience and from actually doing it. I'll never give you advice that, if I haven't done it before.
One of the biggest advices we've gotten or from mentors, Brandon Dawson, is making sure you know your personal, professional, financial goals. Most people have no idea what those are. They don't know what they want to achieve personally. They don't know what they want to achieve financially, and they don't know what they want to achieve professionally. And I know that you had a plan to achieve this goal here. Even though you didn't write it down, or maybe you did, I didn't know I didn't really have a plan. I always had it in my head and I always thought about it. Some people got it and some people got it like that and some people don't. And most people don't. And the bigger the plan, the bigger the goal, the more you have to write down. And I read it on a post today. Plan your goals by writing them down on paper. Don't keep it in your head.
You'll forget.
Don't just tell people. Write it down. Because my plan to get to my first million was originally not written, but eventually I had to write it down. I had to game plan. I had to ask people. I had to go out and pick people's brain, find mentors. And the moment I started reading and diving into podcasts and diving into seminars, that's when my mind expanded and it was like clockwork. Goal after goal after goal was achieved. I would have never reached to what I'm at today if it wasn't because of those things that I don't know how to do this. Let me go find out how to do it. Let me go learn. Let me go hear somebody who's doing it right now that I need to pick their brain. And it's that simple. If you want to get fed, you got to go out there and open your mouth and talk to people. Until then, yes, you're not going to make your first million sitting in your home office just trying to figure it out by yourself.
Well, that's a good point. You brought up Brandon Dawson, who's one of our mentors right now, because we continue to grow. And if we're continuing to grow, we need a mentor at every single level. So what's going to take us from being a millionaire to multi and to 10 to hundreds of millions? We need someone else to show us and show us a path to that mark, because you can outgrow a mentor. Once they tell you and you exceed what they did,
yeah,
you can brainstorm together, right? But now you need another one at a different level.
Yeah.
Because it takes a different level of success, a different mind, a different mentality, and they have it. Now it's just attracting those mentors, or paying for them, or both. You got to do both.
And it never stops. Now we're going to go to the next. Hey, how do we get to 10 million? How do we get to 20 million? How do you get to 50 million? How to get to 100 million? And it's going to be the next goal and the next goal, and it can't stop.
Yeah.
And who do I have to hang out with? Who do I have to listen to? Who do I have to read? I'm hungry to learn, and I'm eager to learn that next step. I'm being intentional of who I want to meet next for my next goal.
Yeah.
And my next pursuit.
So that you have this goal, and I don't know if it's your goal, but it's mine, is to now show someone how to make $1 million. Because I had a goal of, okay, my agents, they're going to be a six-figure earners. Now they're going to be $500,000 earners. But to get to $1 million, you have myself, but that should be a next goal. Let's see how many millionaires we can pull up and make millionaires out of what we do on a daily basis, and have them, if that's their goal. You're not going to make anyone.
Right.
Everyone wants it, but they don't want to do the work. Right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat. Of my goal is let's see how many. I already know I can do six figures, pretty much guaranteed.
Right.
But to be millionaires, that takes a different mind, growth, mentality. You can't be this. I'm not the same person you met me back then.
Absolutely.
You're not the same person that you first started. You grew by having all of these processes and mindset, reading and growing and struggling with those growing pains, because they were painful. I don't want to read this book, but the book that I know I have to read because all these millionaires are reading it, there's something special in there.
Yeah.
Even though they're boring, there's something what is that? One of the books I read is Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
In the first couple chapters, it said, write down what you want to make that year. And I read it my first year, and it said, no, get a pen out and write it down. I'm like, okay. So I wrote down 100,000, and when I wrote it down, I felt something different. And I'm like,
oh yeah.
I was like, that's a lot of money, because I was making 30,000 less than 30,000 at the hardware store. And I was like, dang, 100,000, that's a lot of zeros. But my first year, boom, once I had a process and a mentor, hit that. And now I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of money. Let's do it again. Let's do more. How can I do more? Well, let's invest more into marketing. Let's invest more in myself. Let's invest more in this. Because if I spend this much in marketing, if I double this, I'm going to make double. I'm a better agent. I'll probably make more than double for it. So it's a cool process to see. And, I'm glad we're having this conversation because, we're associating ourselves with the best and the greats.
Right.
And now it's like, okay, we needed to get to the next level. Who can we associate?
Not only are we associating ourselves, but we're getting noticed. So many people are noticing the amount of talent, the amount of ability that we have. And guess what? The right people want to partner with us. The right people want to join us because they see value in us. And all of a sudden, people that are above us, they're reaching back and they're pulling us up because they want us to be a part of their team. And it's the same thing. We are becoming this success, this just kind of a magnet that everybody that wants to see or wants to be a part of this tremendous amount of opportunity that we're driving, they're just coming to us, and it's becoming more of a gravitational pull now. Instead of us gravitating to others, now people are gravitating to us, and it's amazing to see. I'm actually excited for the next. We are becoming a magnet. I'm excited to see the next 10 years what they're going to turn into.
Well, thanks for coming out, Dave. Good to see you all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff. Excited for the next one.